That's in the garden spot. That's a huge drive. Great roll. Good ball. Good ball. Drained it. Good ball. That's a huge drive. Drained it. That's a huge drive. That's a huge drive. On the dance floor.
Did you know there's an easy way to get more views on your old YouTube videos? And the best part is it's free to try. Meet vidIQ's Optimize. Just connect your YouTube channel, click Optimize, and vidIQ pulls from over 20 million YouTube channels to tell you exactly
patties, crispy and grilled onions, cheddar cheese, all topped with a melted cheddar cheese sauce. What could be better? How about playing the Monopoly game with a Philly cheese stack too? Yes, please. Until 15th of October from 11 a.m. Participating UK restaurants. Subject to availability. 18+. App may be required. See mcdrules.co.uk.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
TalkSport Drive.
Monday afternoon from 4
on TalkSport.
Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent will be joined by former England and Premier League star turned manager Wayne Rooney.
Constance was a big issue at the time.
Wayne Rooney, live at Drive from the Legends of Football event. Monday afternoon from 4 on
TalkSport.
It's Conor Bradley across goal and the header in from Gravenberch.
You bring the qualities like Ryan Gravenberch in. If you start to work with him, he can progress.
Listen, he's not Vieira, you understand that, but the way he moves with the ball reminds me of Vieira.
Ryan is a fantastic player, and when you play with good players, everything is easier.
Yeah, what a turn up for the books then, seeing Ryan Gravenberch transformed into a number 6. And Liverpool were looking elsewhere, weren't they, for a number 6? But somehow Arne Slot came in and said, you know what, he knew him from his youth, seen him out in the Netherlands, and decided to completely change his position. And it's almost like Gravenberch has been given a new lease of life.
Well, look, there have been a lot of impressive performances from players under Arne Slot already this season, but none for me are more impressive than Ryan Gravenberch. You know, and it's in the position, ironically enough, where Liverpool wanted to improve. Yeah. I think he saved them 60 million euros, to be honest with you. Look, we wondered if he could drop into that position and be that sort of holding midfielder and do what, say, you know, a Rodri, a Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, you know, protect the back four while also starting the attacks. And we've certainly seen that he can. He keeps the ball, he passes forward, he creates chances, he wins the ball back. I love it when he drives with the ball as well. You know, Bologna midweek, you know, people trying to get tight to him, little twist and turn, and bang, he's gone. See you later. You know, and after that first season, last season, you're thinking, well, okay, he might not have a Liverpool career. Well, boy, he's now become, in what is one of the most important positions on the pitch, he's become one of Liverpool's most important players.
Yeah, he really has, hasn't he? You know, the performance against Wolves last weekend, his success rate in duels and tackles was 100%, 90% accuracy in his passing as well, and it was the most elite number 6 performance since Sandro for Spurs against Blackburn in 2012. So
I
in
know
12
you get Spurs
years,
in somehow.
It just came out, but it was a tweet last week, and it pretty much tells you everything, that he is performing at levels he probably didn't even imagine that he could, and certainly not in that position.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he realises, you know, I think everyone who came to the club last summer, Liverpool's one of the biggest clubs in the world, and you're talking about wanting to win every single game and every single competition if possible. Now, you know that's not the case, but, you know, even just moving the lifestyle, the culture, the different way of life, the different pace of the football itself, it takes different people different times. And I think for him to be dropped in and playing a different type of position now, but really excelling in it, I think tells you everything as to how much Arne Slot, credit to him for seeing that in the first place, credit to him for sort of coaching him at different times. But it always goes down mostly to the player himself for putting himself into that position and doing what he has to do. You know, you have to receive the ball when you've got one, sometimes two people on you. You've got your back to play, and you know if you lose it, the opposition are on the attack. Well, not only is he able to deal with that in tight situations, but he can actually, as I say, little twist, little flick, little turn, and suddenly Liverpool on the attack, and that is so important.
Yeah, he's absolutely owning that position, isn't he? And key to Liverpool's success so far this season. But they've got an interesting one here today, because they're up against a Crystal Palace side who are desperate for anything. A point would be great, but a victory would be even better. It is such a glorious sunny day here at Selhurst Park. The cheerleaders are out. Crystal Palace, of course, the only Premier League ground where we still see cheerleaders, and they're there just flanking either side of the tunnel area where the players are about to head out. Fans here, I think you can hear them. It's busy, but they have enjoyed a miserable few seasons, haven't they? Surviving relegations, coasting in the top flight. There was, of course, real hope for a new era under Oliver Glasner. They were hoping to bring the big time and the good times back here. They finished last season in style, as we've been saying throughout the programme. 6 wins in their last 7. But their failure to win their first 6 this campaign really heaps on so much pressure as they go into their 7th. And in Nemesis, it's fair to say, in Liverpool I should say, it's fair to say that they face a bit of a nemesis. The Reds are unbeaten in their last 9 visits to Selhurst Park. They've won 8 of them. And a worrying stat for Crystal Palace is that they've scored 38 goals here, more than any other opponent to Crystal Palace in the Premier League. You can hear the fans. They are well behind this team. They really want to see a result, even if the omens point towards a Liverpool win. But Glasner said it will take time for his team to click. Nothing happens overnight. Could today be the day? Let's find out then, as the players take their places alongside either side of the Premier League hoarding. Managers walk towards the dugout, and the fans are ready for this one. I'm going to hand you over now to the former Chelsea, West Ham and Benfica defender Scott Minto, but first, TalkSport's chief football commentator Sam Massface.
Thank you, Reshmin. Good afternoon, everyone. Historically, it is rare for there to be a quarter of the Premier League still without a win after 5 games. For only the second time in 10 years, we saunter into October with 5 sides still searching for that first 3-pointer. The last time that Crystal Palace were on a run this bad, they cancelled their attempt at a rebrand and asked Roy Hodgson to come in and save them. A measly 3 points from their opening 6 games is all the more troubling because, unlike 2017, they haven't played Manchester City, Manchester United and Liverpool away already. And because it comes off the back of a super end to last season. Since then, they have sold a leader at the back and a bright young talent, and they have let older, more established heads leave as they embark on yet another refresh that hasn't quite clicked. But it's not all bad news. Now they face Liverpool, who are on an unbeaten run of 10 trips to Selhurst Park without losing, top of the Premier League, and have lost just once on the road in the league since February. Oh, and the last time they hosted them, when they were top of the table, Liverpool won 7-0. Well, at least it's an early kickoff. Crystal Palace have made 2 changes. Once again, they start with a different back 3 to how they started the last game. It's Henderson in goal, Lacroix, Gay and Chalabar the back 3. We'll see how they configure that in just a second. Munoz and Mitchell will play as the wing backs, right and left. Wharton and Lerma in the centre, and then Nketiah and Eze behind, Sarr in attack. 4 changes from the Bologna game for Liverpool. Tsimikas comes in, so does Jones, both for their first Premier League starts of the season. Alisson is their goalkeeper, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Tsimikas the back 4. Gravenberch and Jones, they hold in midfield. McAllister plays in the 10 with Salah on the right, Gakpo on the left, Jota through the middle. Jean-Philippe Mateta, who has 15 goals in 11 games here at Selhurst Park, is only on the bench. So is Daichi Kamada and Will Hughes. And for Liverpool, still no Queven Kelleher, so Vítězslav Jaros is the backup goalkeeper. Szoboszlai, Diaz and Nunez are waiting in the wings with Andy Robertson should they be required. White shirts, black shorts and white socks for Liverpool, who attack the goal away to our right in the first half. It's the traditional red and blue striped jerseys, blue shorts and blue socks for the home team. Our referee is Simon Cooper, VAR is David Coote. And on TalkSport 2 right now, Burnley welcome Preston to Turf Moor in a Lancashire derby that has real meaning. There are 6 other EFL games starting now to keep up to date with, and Brighton take on Villa in the WSL as well. Adrian Durham will take you around the grounds at 2:30 this afternoon, and tomorrow the Sunday session comes live.
I chose Wix for my business because of its massive scope for functionality and freedom of creation. Being able to integrate and change and develop at my own pace. I offer a range of products and services To manage it all from one place is essential. It gave me time back in my day to get going on actual projects. It really just made everything feel more achievable.
This is hands down one of the best ways of starting an online business. I am, of course, talking about GoDaddy Aero. All I have to do is type in my business idea and it'll give me a list of relevant domains. Once I've registered my perfect domain, I'll use GoDaddy Aero to create a logo and a coming soon page, both of which I can easily customize. I first used GoDaddy more than 10 years ago and I always highly recommend their services. But their new AI experience is a real game changer.
Palace do have a fast start, and Liverpool are just switching off a little bit, but Liverpool defence will turn around and say, well, we played that high line and that's what we tried to do, and if he runs in behind then it's good defending, but it's exactly what Palace fans will be looking for.
And interestingly, as we thought could happen when the team news came out, Ismaila Sarr is playing on the right hand side. Here is Trent Alexander-Arnold on the attack. It's turned over inside the Palace half, and Eze is encouraged to get quickly at the Liverpool back line. It's been a fast start by Crystal Palace, who have had the ball in the net once. Nketiah spreading the play to the right hand side, didn't get his pass right, but Sarr is chasing it anyway. Tsimikas goes across into the left fullback position and clears in the sunshine up towards the halfway line, and across comes Lecroix, and it's out for a throw-in in front of the Arthur Wade stand, the 6 rows at the front of which are bathing in early afternoon sunshine, Scott Minto.
Sam, you know, we talked about it, didn't we, whether Sarr would be playing down the middle or not, and square pegs, square holes. This is, if I were a Palace fan, I'm not, but I'd want Eddie Nketiah to be playing in his best position. You know, he hasn't hit the ground running in terms of goals, but he actually has played pretty well. But just put him in his best position. Sarr, get him out wide, use that pace there. Yes, coming inside, Eze coming in off the left. He doesn't have to be like an out-and-out left winger. This, to me, looks like a really good setup from Palace.
Van Dijk has been harassed by Nketiah and almost lost the ball. Then the big, tall central defender, who looks even more of a giant alongside Nketiah, brought the ball eventually clear. Salah sends it down the right. Alexander-Arnold has got high up on a couple of occasions, picks the ball up in the right wing position. He takes it to the touchline, gives it to Jones. Jones plays it against Mitchell. It's out for a throw-in on this near side. Palace lost their last game to Everton, the kind of result that makes you sit up and take notice. Before that, you might have put down the early season form to a few kinks that needed ironing out, but when you lose to a team that are struggling like that, eyebrows start to raise. Liverpool haven't been perfect. Speak to anyone involved with the club and they will point to moments in games where they have switched off and lost a little bit of control, but they have won 8 of their first 9 games and they've conceded just 4 goals in that time and scored 22.
Yeah, they've only conceded 2 goals, haven't they? The best defence so far in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And by 3 goals as well. Arsenal next best on 5, but they have conceded chances.
Here is Jota dropping deep from that number 9 position and moving out towards the left-hand side. He's joining the play with Tsimikas and then getting it back to Van Dijk, who swishes the ball from the halfway line, just left of the centre circle, out to the right, and Salah exchanges passes with Alexander-Arnold. Chalobah comes across, he's playing on the left side of the defence, and it's tucked out for a throw-in on this near side. We're at the back of the main stand here. We're just right of the halfway line, and it's an antiquated old stand. It's one of the old stands that isn't cantilevered, so it's held up by pillars which just populate the view, let's just put it that way.
Producer Deck can't see there with a bar in front of him.
Yeah, that's usually where he is on a Saturday afternoon, in front of the bar. Here is Wharton picking the ball up on the edge of the 18-yard box, playing it forward down the right-hand side. Chasing is Lecroix, trying to get forward, and actually pushes Van Dijk all the way back to his own goal away to our left-hand side, and eventually it's cleared upfield. It is 0-0. You're listening to Talk Sport, and it's 0-0 everywhere at this moment in time. We'll keep you in touch with those big scorelines from the EFL that are taking place this lunchtime.
He resents that remark.
It's good to have him back. It's nice to see him. Here is Konate. down the right-hand side for Liverpool, chested down by Jota, crosses the ball to the back post, headed away by Munoz. The ball drops in midfield, and then Nketiah trying to escape. Tsimikas is a little bit handsy, dragged him through the centre circle and to the floor, and it goes out for it doesn't go out, it's stopped for a free kick just short of the halfway line, 0-0.
And he didn't need to do that as well, because Konate is right alongside him, and I don't think he's going to sort of get past him with pace or power. I mean, good play from Nketiah, but Tsimikas just, again, perhaps just off it a little bit, conceding a foul he didn't need to. But after that initial very good start from Palace, it's Liverpool who are controlling the tempo of this game in midfield.
0-0. Jota picks the ball up after Palace give away the ball rather cheaply. It's collected by Adam Wharton. He sprays it up towards the left-hand side, and now it's with Eze. He tries to turn and run at the edge of the penalty area. Mitchell's gone outside him. He turns and quickly tries to get it towards the back post, and it's chested down by Munoz, who tries to cut it back, goes past two defenders and then plays it against the last one. It took a deflection and bobbled past the left-hand upright of Alisson's goal, and it's out for a corner.
Great play from Palace, really was. Wonderful crossfield pass from Lacroix. And Eze picks up the ball and he gets into the box. He chips the ball to the far post. And Munoz does really well. It's good defending in the end from Van Dijk, always positioning himself at the near post in the right place, but already been a really good start 6 minutes in from both sides.
Eze to take it, far side. He's got 5-6 shirts to aim at in Crystal Palace blue and red, just on the back edge of the penalty spot. They're all lined up actually in a row, with Nketiah just wheeling away to the far edge of the box. It's aimed in towards that central area, flicked into the air by Gakpo, might be collected here by Lacroix. It doesn't quite get there, and it's now an escape on for Salah. Salah returns and goes backwards rather than forwards, and Palace quickly flex back into shape on the halfway line. Arne Slot standing on the edge of his technical area, so is Oliver Glasner, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is in possession for Liverpool, who come here knowing that they can stretch their lead at the top of the table if they get all 3 points today. Crystal Palace actually did hold Manchester United to a goalless draw here, a game where they struggled in the first half but competed much better in the second. They will need to show that sort of level of concentration and compactness against a team that do absolutely love having control. What they want to do is give them any free hits, and they've given the ball away. Munoz straight to Tsimikas inside his own half. Over on the left, the ball is retrieved by Jota. It's given back towards the edge of the centre circle, and Konate. Peterborough have taken the lead against Stevenage. Boy, do Peterborough need a win in League One. Grimsby 0, Doncaster Rovers 1 is the other latest score. That's in League Two. Ball back towards the halfway line. Now Van Dijk has got it here, just left of the centre circle, strolling forward, chest puffed out, plays it into Tsimikas' pass, and then a lovely little ball down the left side, looking for Gakpo, into Jota. Jota arriving on the penalty spot to poke it home, and Liverpool's first attack leads to a goal. Brilliant pass down the left by Tsimikas, through the eye of a needle, into Gakpo, timed his run perfectly, squared it towards the penalty spot, and arriving was Jota to poke it home. And Palace have been rumbled by Liverpool's first attack, and they've hit the front. Palace 0, Liverpool 1.
But I've got no idea what Daniel Munoz was doing there. They seemed really set up well with 5 at the back, and he just goes in without, he's not even looking at where Gakpo's running. And as a fullback, wing back, whatever you want to call it, you've got to be looking at where your man is, where the ball is, and give yourself enough space if the ball can be played in between you and your centre half. He's not looked at all, he's gone forward rather than back. It's a really good pass, well-timed run, and suddenly they're behind Crystal Palace. That one pass, because that wing-back has switched off, has meant they're able to get in behind. Great ball across, and Jota doesn't miss those.
But the initial attack, the first phase of the attack, Scott, started because he gave the ball away cheaply as well.
Well, they were trying to keep the ball, and it was good pressure from Liverpool. I understand what he was trying to do, not just give the ball back to the keeper. And actually, if it had been a decent pass, Palace would have then been on the attack. But that simple pass, he gave the ball away. And then if you do that, right, say, okay, I'm going to set, I'm going to be in my position. That one player making that forward move instead of in behind has created the chance for Liverpool, and they're not going to not score from there.
Well, Liverpool, different beast to the all-action heroes under Jurgen Klopp. Less stadium rock, They like to govern the game a little bit better under Arne Slot. But they have managed to get in front. Jota's finish separating the two teams after just 9 minutes. Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 1. Live on Talk Sport. And you're listening to Talk Sport with Sky Sports, and don't forget you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like Everton versus Newcastle, live today. Search Now Sports.
And do you know what? It's put a real downer on Selhurst Park, hasn't it? Because Palace had started well. A couple of times they got forward into the box, looked like they could be dangerous. I think we were together last year here with the game where Liverpool nicked it right at the end as a Harvey Elliott goal in injury time, but Palace had their chances in the game. You know, I say this should be a place where teams don't want to come, and if you're very careful sort of defensively, they can create chances.
Lacroix intercepts as he sees the ball going towards McAllister. It's collected by, it's given away by Sarr, straight to Cody Gakpo over on the far side. That's why you heard the groans from the Selhurst Park crowd. Little twirl by Gakpo, floats the ball into the right corner. Salah chases after it. Chalobah holds him up, but he's got Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's clipped to the far post. It's too high for Diogo Jota, who turns it back towards the left edge of the penalty area, and Liverpool move again. Grimsby behind by 2-0 at home to Doncaster now in League Two. Here is Van Dijk over on the far side, trying to nudge it into the path of Tsimikas. Tsimikas is faced up by Munoz. Munoz pushes him back, but Liverpool just work the other side of the pitch, and they do it so well. Lovely pass by McAllister into Alexander-Arnold, across into the box, which is headed behind by Gay, and it's out for a corner to Liverpool.
Brilliant. Liverpool are just turning the screw at the moment, aren't they? Dominating possession. Another wonderful crossfield pass, this time to Trent.
Please stand well clear of the edge of the platform.
Meeting today then.
Life takes us on many journeys. Thank you for taking us on yours.
Hello, darlings. Futuristic scooters, old school website. Relax. Smart AI will sort this. Design, text, images, instantly generated for your business. Your digital partner, Ionos.
We talked about how defensively they only conceded 2 goals, and the next best is Arsenal, and everyone raves about their defence, and rightly so, and they've already conceded 5. To score 2 against Liverpool to win this game is going to be tough.
Tsimikas, turn away by Curtis Jones, who's come into the team today. That's the other thing about Liverpool's performance today. However it ends up, they've been able to use the squad. Here's Alexander-Arnold sending Salah down the right-hand side into the near post. Jota doesn't get there. It's away by Henderson. And then there's a foul on the edge of the box by Jones on Sarr, and there's a bit of an inquest going in inside the 18-yard box away to our right-hand side. Sarr having a word with Lerma having a word with Gahey, Lacroix getting involved as well. That was another situation that was just a little bit too easy for Liverpool to pick their way through into an advanced position and create a goal-scoring chance.
Listen, it's a back 5. It should actually, and it's a back 5, not a back 3. So when Liverpool have the ball, there shouldn't be the space to play in between the left wing back and the left centre half, or the right wing back and the right centre half. The spaces should be spot on, and they're not at the moment. And actually, you know, Salah got him behind, and I don't know why Jota couldn't get close to it. Maybe it was played just a little bit ahead of him. But he would have finished that off there. It would have been talking 2-0 within 15 minutes.
Well, we've played 14 minutes, and it is Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 1 live on Talk Sport, and it has been a rather horrible start for Crystal Palace after a brilliant first break where they went up and had the opportunity to put themselves in front, only Nketiah didn't hold on. But that bad start is just about to get a whole lot worse, because I think they're going to have to change the right back here. Daniel Munoz has gone down, having, I think, pulled his groin. Is that what he's saying? I think he's pulled his groin. So what has been a really tricky first 15 minutes is only going to get even harder for Oliver Glasner.
Well, it certainly will. I mean, you would have thought Joel Ward probably will come on. There's obviously Nathaniel Klein as well. But it's the last thing you want, really. One of your first team players to be down so early and injured, and it's one of those where you can't run it off. If he is struggling, even if he's just tweaked it, he's only going to make it worse if he does.
TalkSport live on a Saturday afternoon. Sunshine is burning down on the pitch in front of us. Elsewhere, Burnley 0, Preston 0 on TalkSport 2. Norwich 0, Hull City 0. That's in the Championship. Portsmouth 0, Oxford United 0. A battle of the two promoted teams. Pompey battered by Stoke in midweek. It's a quick turnaround to Saturday lunchtime for John Mousinho's team. Boy, do they need their first win on the board and need it quickly. They've got some good fixtures between now and December, but they've got to play a lot better than they have been at this moment in time. Huddersfield Barnsley in League One is 0-0. Peterborough 1-0 up against Stevenage, desperate for a win on the board of Darren Ferguson's men. Fleetwood 0, Bromley 0 in League 2, and Grimsby 0, Doncaster 2 in the WSL. Brighton playing Aston Villa. That's still goalless as well. We're back underway here with a substitution about to take place. Munoz has gone off over on the far side, and Sarr is filling in at right back as Liverpool try to knit together an attack down the left-hand side. It's Gakpo into McAllister. McAllister back to the edge of the area, and if his pass was crisper there, he would have found Jones. Wharton came across and denied them the opportunity to find Curtis Jones. It's cleared away.
Well, I'll tell you what, even with 11 men, but especially with 10 men, Liverpool really need to go for it. I genuinely think if they are clever in their runs, they can get in behind Crystal Palace almost at will, and if they get that second goal, that's going to be tough for Palace to even try and get a point.
Wharton into Lerma. Lerma tussling with McAllister, comes out the other side. Jones brings him down, and here's the change. I think we're going to see, is it Nathaniel Klein who we're going to see on this near touchline coming into play right back? Former Liverpool player comes off to off the bench and onto the pitch to warm applause from both sets of supporters. They recognise his contribution. Wearing number 17, he scored the goal that gave Jurgen Klopp his first ever win as Liverpool manager. Started the last 7 games of last season when they were doing really well, mainly as a right-sided centre-half actually, but it's a different role today. He's going to play as a right wing-back for Crystal Palace, who trail here by 1-0.
To be fair, he's got a lot of experience, hasn't he, as you talked about, who he's played for, club he's played for his country. I think it's a very good substitution to have to come on. Nobody wants to see Munoz go off, but Klein will certainly do more than a good job there.
2 quick goals in the WSL. Brighton 1, Aston Villa 1 at the Broadfield Stadium in Crawley. And we decamp from here actually after the game and head down towards Brighton, because the Sunday session comes from Brighton tomorrow. The Premier League All Access podcast as well comes from Brighton's Amex Stadium straight afterwards. So there's a lot of football to get through tomorrow. So many games in the WSL and the Championship and the Premier League because of the European action. So we'll keep you across it all right here on Talk Sport, as we will do throughout the course of this afternoon as well, with Adrian taking you round the grounds. And afterwards, Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara bring you the phone in from 5:30. Here's McAllister sweeping the ball forward, trying to just nudge it in behind Mark Gay, who stood firm. Picked up by Nketiah. He sends it out wide towards the right. He's asking a lot of Klein to get up there ahead of Gakpo, and Gakpo comes scurrying back into position and does well to win it for Liverpool.
Do you know what? Brilliant play from Gakpo, having that defensive head-on, which is what you want from your attacking wide player. But that was a really good ball from Nketiah, and Klein, you can see, has not quite got up to the pace of the game yet. As Nketiah has taken that touch and he's coming towards the right-hand side, he's got to know there's so much space there. Start the sprint. He didn't, but well played, Gakpo.
Ball sent down through the inside right channel for Salah to chase. Henderson comes out to the edge of his penalty area, receives it with his feet, was under immediate pressure from the Egyptian, and then sent it wide towards the left, and they managed to clear it upfield. Norwich lead by 1-0. They only had 1 shot on target in their 1-1 draw with Leeds United in midweek, but they're already a goal up over Hull City. Nunez with the goal after 16 minutes. It's 1-0 to Liverpool here. Trent Alexander-Arnold tries to send it right down the touchline up towards the halfway line. Cut out by Mitchell, turned over by Palace, and they try to weave it through the middle of the park into Wharton, then back to halfway, and then out to the right side. And Klein, who's hugging the touchline in front of the Liverpool fans, has to scurry back to halfway, gives it to Lacroix. His ball forward is cut out by a combination of McAllister and good fortune. It bounces to Van Dijk, and now it's with Gravenberch. Gravenberch forward, McAllister under pressure, keeps hold of it, slow it down Liverpool they do. making sure that they've got control of the football rather than the sort of heavy metal Jurgen Klopp approach, Scott, where they would quickly throw everything forward and go on the attack. Now it's about possession.
Yeah, do you know what? It was brilliant to watch, and no one should ever forget the contribution that Jurgen Klopp has made for Liverpool. But I do think Arne Slot, I mean, in one sense, he's perhaps a little bit lucky with the squad that he's taken over. Quite often when you become a manager, it's a manager because the team hasn't been doing well.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's a wonderful squad with players who are getting used to playing in certain positions, crucial position in central midfield, already being a year older and a year wiser on that. Some great players, forward thinking and also defensive, but he has added something different to it, and it's been a brilliant, impressive start so far.
This is really interesting. This is one of those moments where the ball's gone out of play, and the sort of job is to go and pick a ball up from the edge of the pitch to take a throw in. Trent Alexander-Arnold's gone and done that. Now Mo Salah could have kicked the ball that was on the pitch out of play to get things started again quickly, and he didn't kick it away. Now by not kicking it away, he was sort of delaying the restart there.
So you're saying he should have got booked?
Well, no, but I don't think he was comfortable kicking the ball out because he didn't want to get a yellow card for delaying the restart. So it was sort of between a rock and a hard place. Here's Gakpo's cross into the box towards the far post, looking for Salah, flicked away by Chalobah, and it's out in this near side and away for a corner kick. Whatever he did there was the wrong choice.
Absolutely, no. He actually did the right choice because he didn't leave something to the referee's hands, and players have to be careful nowadays because obviously it's a hot topic.
Corner on the near touchline. Now, Arsenal supporting producer, by the way, said he would have been booked if he was an Arsenal player. That's the sort of paranoia they've got about it.
Do you know what? I had a quick game of golf with some Arsenal fans. They were moaning. I said, don't become those fans. Don't. You've got a really
You're
good
better
team.
than that. Here's the corner. Tsimikas towards the far post, looking for Salah. It's clipped away by Lerma, and it's out towards the far side where it's picked up by Adam Wharton. Back to Lerma, who clips it up to halfway, collected well by Nketiah, and Sar's gone down the middle for a moment here, and Mitchell is trying to find him, but he can't. His radar completely off, and he sends the ball into the arms of Alisson, who's right on the edge of his own penalty area. That was a bit of a mishap.
Yeah, that shows a bit of lack of confidence from Mitchell, or actually probably, I mean, no one's played particularly well for Crystal Palace this season, but he's arguably been Palace's most consistent performer. But you're trying to play a ball that's almost inch perfect, and it's never going to be. So just keep hold of it. But again, I think that sort of lack of confidence they've got at the moment, the fact they're under pressure, meant that he forced himself to do it and just gave the ball back to Liverpool.
Hull City are the Championship's comeback kings. They're going to have to be this afternoon because they trail Norwich by 2-0. Yanis Hoftorp starting to get a tune out of Norwich City. That's going to be another goal for Josh Sargent, and they're 2-0 up in the EFL Championship. Still 0-0, by the way. Burnley Preston over on TalkSport 2. If you want to listen to TalkSport 2, you can download our app and get involved in the action. And Crystal Palace, who have set up with a back five today, really, have failed to keep Liverpool at bay so far.
And that's the disappointing thing from a defensive point of view. They're just so open at the moment, and Liverpool are keeping the ball, then they're going long whenever they need to, and suddenly they look so dangerous.
And so comfortable in possession as Salah picks it up, drops midway through the Palace half and sends it out towards Tsimikas, who finds Gakpo, who tries to cut in, decides to go back to McAllister into Konate, who's joined the pitch further up. He's given it to Gakpo, lovely pass in towards the edge of the box. It comes out towards Jones, and Jones just didn't quite fall for him. And that was lovely play. Gakpo, Gravenberg, all involved there inside the 18-yard box. But Konate stepping in and making a forward pass really made that move for Liverpool, and they've won a corner.
I think they've got more than just Trent, who are capable of pass, and instant.
I scored 76 goals in one season. Everyone says I'm good enough to be scouted by a pro club. That's my dream. Till I died.
What you want as players to be open and honest as a coach. That's one thing where players, you go into a meeting, for instance, Arsene was probably the best at it, and you go talk to him and you come out and you'll be like,
Sport commentaries. For details. For the latest news and information from where you live, please visit bbc.co.uk/England. Hello, and thank you for listening to BBC Local Radio on the internet. Unfortunately, the current programme on this station is unavailable.
At Vistaprint, we print signs so people can see your brand up close, but we also print signs so that people can see your business here, see it here, and see it here.
Same time, at the end of your career, what do you have to show for it?
And like, if you look at Gareth Barry, for example, who they threw fake money at him when he returned to Villa because he went to Man City.
To do passes that they don't need to. Just keep the simple ones now. Just get 3-4 passes going. Because any time they're trying to, as you say, with Eze trying to dribble past a couple of players, he got tackled. Or then a simple pass from Wharton, or it's a 20-25 yard pass where he just needed to keep it a little bit better. The crowd are starting to turn now because they realise at this moment in time, men against boys, and that was a really important save from Dean Henderson.
Corner far side has been eventually given because Henderson parried it out towards that far corner, and it did go over the line and out for a corner kick before it could be cleared away by Lacroix. As a result of that, it is a corner kick to Liverpool over on the far touchline, which Alexander-Arnold will take. There's 6 white shirts to aim at in the centre, of which 5 are congregated inside the 6-yard box. It's in towards the near post. The first contact is a flick on from Gakpo, but he didn't quite get it right. He got too much on that and edged it over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, he tried to sort of use the neck movement, where really he just almost got to let it hit the top of his head, and by the time he did that, it ended up going over. I wouldn't say it was a brilliant corner, but it's been all Liverpool, hasn't it? And Palace have just not been able to keep 3-4 passes together at all.
Yeah, and Arne Slot was warning everybody beforehand, giving the ball away again from playing out from the back. This time they're going to get away with it because Gakpo was a little bit eager and seems to have fouled Sarr and has given away not only a free kick, but he's going to pick up a yellow card. But Crystal Palace at this moment in time just cannot retain the football, and that would be a massive issue for them. You know, and we mentioned earlier that they missed the leadership of someone like Anderson, but Maxence Lacroix was brought in by Oliver Glasner because he wanted him, but he was told you can only have him if you sell somebody else, and he was quite happy to sacrifice Anderson to bring in Lacroix. On the face of it, I'm not sure that would be the decision that I would make, to sacrifice an established Premier League defender for someone who, he's worked with him before, so he knows him, and I'm sure he trusts him as a result of that. But is it really going to change the fortunes of Crystal Palace? Well, not at this moment in time, because they've won the ball on the right side. It's Salah trying to get into the penalty area. Across comes Jota, and then, Gurhey takes the ball out of the box and then just fell over because he knew he'd get a foul that way.
That's clever. Clever from your big centre-half, although he's not the tallest centre-half. Look, I couldn't agree with you more. Just seemed a strange move to go from Crystal Palace to Fulham. I mean, obviously he would have been offered a much bigger contract. So I think he's got a good wage. Absolutely. So for the player, I get it. But for Crystal Palace, okay, maybe his age and this time is not going to get much money in the next few years. But you hit the nail on the head. You've got a ready-made, seasoned professional who's a leader, not just on but off the pitch as well. For someone who's got talent and potential, but will have to get used to the Premier League. And you could argue that Mark Gurhey hasn't been the same player this season as last, and that's probably partly playing for England and getting used to that from a mental as well as physical position, but also not having his normal central defender alongside him.
And maybe the speculation around his future.
That as well.
Curtis Jones has been warned for his future conduct after a late foul on Gay, and the free kick has been given to Crystal Palace, just left of the centre circle. I mean, the good news for Crystal Palace is they have been comprehensively outplayed in the 32 minutes that we've had so far, yet it is only Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 1.
I love you. You always look for a positive in a lot of negatives. But you're spot on.
Eze clipping the ball into the penalty area. Across comes Tsimikas and glances it out before it can reach Nketiah, and it goes out for a Crystal Palace corner.
Brilliance, which we know he's capable of, but we hadn't seen enough of this season, and one of the reasons why he's not in the England squad, whether you think it's harsh or not.
Klein on the edge of the penalty area is free here. Eze is going to drive the ball into the box. Sarr went up, it's cleared away by Gakpo. Klein tries to nod it back into the danger zone. It's away by Konate, back by Klein again. A bit of head tennis between Konate and Klein, but the next ball runs out to the right side and Salah then lifts it high into the air. Great touch by Cody Gakpo to take it down. An even better ball out to the right hand side, and he sent Salah scurrying away down towards the byline. He's met by Mitchell. Mitchell does well, stands firm. Ball doesn't go out of play, and Liverpool still have it, and Gravenberch has gone round him and he's moved into the penalty area. There's two at the back post. He's in towards Jota. Oh, he's opened his body up and misfired as he tried to side foot the ball into the far corner. It's squirted out to the far touchline, received by Jones. His right-footed drive is headed away by Lacroix into the air. The Liverpool pressure continues to come. Lacroix tries to get there ahead of Jota. The outball isn't there, and Van Dijk will smack it forward once more. Lerma takes it down out of the sky. Eze tries to add a bit of poise to proceedings, but Konate is there ready to try and gobble up the ball once again and not allow him to wriggle out of what was a tight grip.
Fantastic defending from Konate, really was. And then once Eze's not able to get past him, then pass it to someone else rather than try and go again. But I mean, I talked about Jota and how clinical he can be. He's 10 yards out, he's in front of goal. Brilliant play from Gravenberch, playing a little 1-2 with Salah, getting in behind yet again this Crystal Palace back five. And as he cuts the ball back, he just needs a good connection on it, and you'd expect him out of, I mean, even Salah, everyone on the pitch here, that he'd be the person to do it. And it's one of those where if you get good connection and it's in the side of the goal, Henderson's got no chance. That's a wonderful opportunity for Liverpool.
1-0 to Liverpool. And they had a great opportunity to extend their lead. In fact, they've had a couple of good opportunities to extend their lead since they went in front after just 9 minutes, thanks to Diogo Jota, and goal number 4 of the season for him. Missed so much of last season because of injury. He is such a good finisher. 4 goals now and 2 assists so far this season for the Portuguese striker, who largely has led the line for Liverpool this campaign. Here is Gravenberch to Jones. Sunshine comes out again at Selhurst Park in South London. It's one of those stadiums that just sort of emerges as you walk round the corner. You come through a load of terraced houses, and actually quite big terrace houses in southeast London, and then all of a sudden it is there. Here is Jota inside the penalty area, down the left-hand side, trying to square the ball back towards McAllister. It goes out off of a defender and goes out for a corner over on the far side.
Yeah, Palace have to hang on in here. They cannot afford to concede that second goal.
Did I see 75% possession just a moment ago? I
You
think
do.
I did. It sort of tells you the sort of tale of the tape so far. I think Liverpool will be disappointed if they only go in at half-time 1-0
Absolutely.
up.
You're absolutely right to say Palace, the good thing they can think is they're only 1-0 down. I mean, again, according to the stats, 25% possession, and they've not had a shot on or off target.
They did start like a train and get the ball in the net, but it was disallowed after Eddie Nketiah failed to hold his run after good work from Sarr down the right-hand side. But since then, there's been very little threat to Alisson's goal. And that seems a long time ago now. Here's the corner, opposite us. Swung in by Alexander-Arnold to that near post. It's away by Sarr. There was holding inside the box anyway, and the referee's blown his whistle. Palace starting the day in the relegation zone for the first time since March 2018. And they'll know that on 3 of the other 4 occasions they have started the season without a win in 7, and this is their 7th game. They have been relegated. The Hodgson heroics, the only exception. I don't think any of us, especially at the beginning of the season, in fact I remember you sitting in the studio at London Bridge with us doing the Premier League All Access preview, and I raised the possibility of Crystal Palace. They couldn't struggle, could they? And everybody, Leanne Sanderson, you, Crookie, all looked at me as if I was absolutely crazy. And I don't think you still, even on the evidence of what you've seen so far this season, think that they will.
Yeah, I mean, one I would say is that was Perry, not me.
Was it?
Yeah, I missed the flight, do you remember?
No,
my flight was delayed.
You two,
yeah.
For me now, you know what I'm like.
Do we merge into one?
One for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Very similar looking, actually.
That was producer Keelan. I heard it. There's nothing wrong with Perry and I looking like each other.
You both used to wear those very tight shorts back in the day, if I remember rightly. Some of you still do. Here is Lerma on the halfway line, trying to get away from Jota. There was a foul, but the referee said play on because Palace had picked up the ball inside the centre circle. Lacroix harassed, stopped, prevented from going any further. Just outside the centre circle, and Liverpool have got it back again. Not only have Liverpool been in control of the game, when they've lost it, they've won it back so quickly, Scott.
Right, so what I'd say about Palace and them sort of giving the ball away, yes, it's got to be better passing, but the press of Liverpool is so good, and you can see they've been worked in it, that the Palace players, especially the defenders, when they do get the ball, it's like, well, I've got to try and pass it, but there's no guarantee it's going to get there, and quite often the Liverpool defenders are really on their toes, really tight, and they're able to win the ball back again.
Liverpool have made a really good start to the game. The only thing that you could probably fault them on is the fact that they haven't extended their lead to more than the one that they've already racked up here at Selhurst Park this lunchtime.
In answer to your question, though, what you were saying, no, I don't believe Palace will be there at the end of the season. Yes, it is a very poor start, and those stats, what you were saying about after 7 matches, and I can't see them getting anything out of today's game. I couldn't before it, even more so now. But I still feel they'll have more than enough. But the longer it goes on without that first win, the more you think we are in trouble. And, I was part of the West Ham squad that I still think has the record amount of points of going down. We didn't win a home game until January. And not at any point until past Christmas did we suddenly realise actually we're in a proper relegation battle. So it can happen to anyone.
I mentioned to you earlier, the fixtures that they've had are not they haven't been easy, but they're also not the toughest of fixtures yet. They're still to come, and this is certainly proving to be one of them. Liverpool on the attack, piecing their way through rather too easily, actually, getting the ball out towards the left-hand side, finding Gakpo, who from the left corner of the area floats the ball into the near post. It's flicked behind by Gay, and it's out and away for a corner kick. There was just a moment there where 2 midfield players went up towards Gravenberch, and he just passed it right the way through them.
Yeah. Just want to mention Gakpo as well. We talked about Luis Diaz and the brilliant start to the season and the slight eyebrow raise of him not playing today. And I said at the start, one, it kind of rests Luis Diaz, but two, players like Gakpo should be chomping at the bit, and I think he's been sensational, not just for the assist, but the timing of his runs, the touch and his passing.
Here's the corner that's going to be taken by Trent Alexander-Arnold on the Liverpool left, so it's over on the far side, a right-footed in-swinger in towards that near post, and Van Dijk gets up higher than anybody else and tries to latch on to the end of it, and it's over the top of the crossbar, and it might have been a little bit short of the goal as well, and it's out for a goal kick away to our right. 5 minutes to go before half-time. You're listening to Talk Sport, and it is game day. And the problem as well, Scott, is that when you have a game like this where you're up against a team that are not only very good, but they squeeze the life out of the match so that they have control of it. So it sometimes feels as if your team are barely participating in it. That sort of saps the energy around the stadium as well. A stadium that historically has had a good atmosphere. Nketiah trying to do something about that. Picks the ball up and rolls it infield. Comes across towards the left, and Mitchell with a low ball in towards the near post, which was not a good delivery, and it was easily cut out by Alisson, who just swallowed at the near post. Brighton 2, Aston Villa 1 in the WSL.
Yeah, and look, and that was actually really good play from Crystal Palace, the best sort of pattern of play, but it still meant that the ball ended up going to the side, then back to Dean Henderson, who decided he needed to go long. Sarr did actually really well, where up until now it's been a Liverpool defender getting in front of him, and they managed to work the way out to the left. And when you do get in and around the box, yeah, you've got to have better quality than that, but better from Palace.
But you've got to get my point about the fact that it feels like, even though they're probably working their absolute socks off, because Liverpool is so good, it does feel like they're barely in the game.
Absolutely, and the problem is, again, because the press is so good, when you're forcing a pass and then it's not going to where you want it to, not only do you then give the ball back to the opposition, but the whole crowd, there's a big moan, and that can sap your confidence.
Salah has run out towards this near side. Gakpo has tried to find him, but he's just about kept it in as well. He's done brilliantly. The Palace fans aren't happy. He comes back out to Alexander-Arnold, right corner of the area. Then McAllister, one on more towards Tsimikas, who strikes it. And that was always a bad decision, because he hasn't scored for about 315 years, and it goes out over on the far side for a throw-in.
That's a long time.
Well, it's not 315 years, actually. The last time he scored was 2018, so it's 6 years.
But feels like 315.
It's long enough. 2018, I think he was playing for Willem II at the time. Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 1 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs. Here's Salah to Alexander-Arnold. He tackles Alexander-Arnold on the edge of the Palace penalty area, and then Palace skip away. McAllister tried to bring down Eze, didn't succeed. Konate has gone into the back of Nketiah, and it's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card here for McAllister for trying to pull down Eze and not succeeding in the previous phase of play.
If you're going to get booked for a shirt pull, then make sure he doesn't go past you and pull him down. But I think Liverpool are feeling almost sorry for Crystal Palace. They've ended up tackling themselves as the only way someone can get close to a Liverpool player.
Yes, it certainly felt like that. But they have left the door open ajar. 2 minutes to go before half-time. It's Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 1 on TalkSport. Here is Eze's free kick then, right at the end of the first half. He plays it short to Wharton, and then Wharton plays it down the left side where Mitchell had made a run, but he overhit it. It went straight out of play, and what a waste.
Again, I talk about that sort of sapping confidence. It doesn't happen in the first pass you give away, or maybe even the second, but when you've done it 3 or 4 times, other players have done it 3 or 4 times, and you almost feel like the fans are waiting. So any pass that needs to be sort of quite precise there, he's much better than that. The weight of pass, we know he's a class player. It's a simple one for him, but when you're lacking in confidence and you've been under pressure, you overhit it.
Later on TalkSport 2, we've got Arsenal against Southampton right now. It's the Lancashire derby between Burnley and Preston, still 0-0. And remember, we have both England games on Thursday of next week and the following Sunday. Greece at home and Finland away. And there was a foul on Gay here, which, again, the Crystal Palace fans weren't particularly happy about. He's gone down, no action has been taken. It was a collision between him and Jota. He did stamp on his foot, but it was accidental, I think, and no yellow card has been distributed as a result of that. By the way, I had a brief look at the forecast in Helsinki.
Oh, go on.
Going to be chilly, that.
Very, very.
University? At your age? Do be serious.
Unlike your inner critic, Arden University takes a more positive view, with flexible degree courses and the support you need to succeed. Start your degree at any age. Search Arden University to learn more.
The $3.95 trial set with our sharpest ever Truman razor. Get started now at harrys.com. Harry's. Feel good, fellas.
Just coming up to half-time, and it is still Liverpool's Diogo Jota that separates the two teams as we go into added time, of which there will be 2 minutes. Can Palace reignite this game by getting something just before half-time? They have the ball on halfway. Lerma looks up, and they've done none of that which they did in the first few seconds of the game, where there is an opportunity to sort of try and play it down the sides, find Sarr and create a cut back into Nketiah. None of that has happened. A lot of it is because Liverpool haven't allowed them to play, but also it's because they've seemingly had the energy sort of sucked out of them since that 9th-minute goal. Here's Wharton trying to play it in behind the Liverpool defence, and again the ball just wasn't crisp enough from Wharton. It needed to be much more assertive than that.
Absolutely. You know, he's looking like a player that's lacking in confidence today,
and he's a great player, by the way.
I'm going to be really harsh here and say that it's not the case, but he's looking like a player that's out of his depth here, and he's not. He's a very, very good player.
Yeah, but it looks a bit lacking in confidence, doesn't it?
Lacking in confidence big time. Not the only one, of course, but that ball either wasn't on or you play it crisp, as you say.
Ball cleared by Konate and up towards the halfway line, flicked away by Chalobah. Wharton plays it square this time. Better ball into Lacroix, who tries to side it in towards Sarr. Sarr in behind the defence, right-footed shot. Great save by Alisson down to his right. A necessary one. That's more like it from Crystal Palace. Really good play, sending the ball into the inside right channel. Sarr was onside by a mile this time. Picked it up, got into the box, sent it across the goalkeeper. Alisson down to his right and fended it clear.
Brilliant from Palace. Best bit of the whole half as we go towards half-time as well. There's a decent first touch. It was zipped into him, but he still was able to, on his second touch, getting a really good strike. Cross goal. Alisson, sign of a top keeper, when you don't have much to do, you make a great save.
Gakpo onto Jones. Jones now coming forward for Liverpool in those white shirt. Gets to the edge of the box and gives it to Salah. Salah cuts inside, tries a left-footed drive, blocked by Mitchell. That's the last action of the first half. And Liverpool have the lead thanks to Diogo Jota's 9th-minute goal. Eddie Nketiah had the ball in the net after the first few seconds, but it was ruled out for offside, and rightly so. But that late flurry at the end of the first half may just give Crystal Palace a little bit of hope, when for probably 44 minutes of that first 45 there wasn't that much around. The Reds have been in front at the break 6 times this season, and they've gone on to win all 6, which is great news if you're a Crystal Palace fan. At the break, it's Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 1.
Sam Matterface, thank you very much indeed. Yeah, glimmer of hope at the beginning and the end of that match, but are they just glimmers, Scott Minto? Because from what we've seen so far, this has been a Liverpool masterclass, and it's been pretty easy.
It has, and I would imagine actually the happy of the two managers is Oliver Glasner. I mean, that in itself, as you say, and I think you described it really well, top and tail to half, where they've scored a goal but it wasn't allowed, and nearly scored a goal, but that was men against boys, Resh, both with and without the ball. The way Liverpool pressed, and when we talk about the lack of crisp passing from Palace, and actually sometimes it was simple passing or a simple pass that you know someone is capable of. Other times it's because the Liverpool press is so good, and then when they have the ball, it's done at their tempo. Short little passes, then they'll do the crossfield pass, and not always coming from Trent either. They got in behind that back 5, let's not forget. It's not a back 3, it's not a back 4. When they're without the ball, it's a back 5. That should be very, very difficult to break down. They got in behind far too many times, and honestly, Slot should be really disappointed it's only 1-0, because Palace is still very much in this game, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah, possession-wise, Liverpool have had around 3/4 of possession, sort of varying as we've gone along throughout the game. So they're very, very much in charge, and as you say, only 1 goal in it so far. But you do expect more, don't you? Because they have been building chance after chance.
Yeah, I mean, but then you'd also say you'd expect more from Palace. Up until that last moment of that first half, I think Liverpool will be saying we don't want half-time, because they are so much in the ascendancy, and if there is going to be another goal, it will come from them. It's amazing what half-time does. Same two groups of 11 players. You sit down for 15 minutes. It's not quite your Jaffa cake and your orange or cup of tea that it was back in the day. But
did you have Jaffa cakes?
No, we didn't actually. Actually, no, we did before the game, yeah, and sometimes half-time. Anyway, and then suddenly to go again and to pick up where you left off. Actually, the team that's been under pressure suddenly in the first 5 or 10 minutes can go again in the way that they did at the start of the first half. And if they are able to create a chance and stay on side and score the goal, then how on earth can Palace be level with Liverpool when Liverpool have been so much on top?
What do you make of the performance of Eze? I mean, there was a lot of talk about him before the season. Maybe he would, like Elise, maybe he'd follow him out the door as well. It didn't materialise. Does he look like a player who is very much still buying into this?
No, I wouldn't describe it as that. I think you're looking at a player who, one, probably misses one of his best mates, both on and off the pitch. I think, two, there's more reliance on him. Three, whether you played a lot in the Euros or not, it takes a lot out of you, both from a physical and a mental point of view, to be involved in that high-pressure situation where you don't really get to rest at all. And then you're asked to go again. And, yeah, you're still looking at him to really step up with Elise gone. It's not as easy to do. We saw a couple of seasons ago when Sahar was there, and the three of them are brilliant. Last season it was the two of them. Now it's just kind of him. But others haven't stepped up, so he needs help there. But no, you're absolutely right. There's been a couple of times where he's been on the ball and you're expecting a little bit better from him, and actually he's giving the ball away. So he definitely needs to step up in the second half. He's a player I respect and like a lot.
Very much so, yeah. Okay, well, so far not going great for Crystal Palace. It's been a difficult side. They've not been able to impose themselves on this one at all. Liverpool very much dominant, but still only just a goal in it. Now, whenever they've scored first in their last 5 games, they have a record of 5 wins. Crystal Palace have a record of no wins when they've conceded the opening goal in the Premier League this season. The omens are not looking good, but there's always a chance to defy the odds, isn't there? Let's see what Crystal Palace can do. The second half is coming up after this.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug. Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels. 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
Settle down for a night of crime. Witness a heist. Follow a car chase. Eat too much popcorn. Meet a mafia boss. Join in on a bank robbery. Think about making a cup of tea. Be too comfortable to get up. For less.
Selected IKEA sofas are now at a new lower price, along with thousands of other products. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
At Betfair, we're about finding different ways to play. Like with our 90-minute guarantee. We've all been there. The clock ticks over into 90 minutes, and then a speculative cross into the box ricochets off a knee and goes in, ruining your bet. But with Betfair's 90-minute guarantee, if your bet is winning at 90 minutes or full time, we pay out. Betfair. Play different.
Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
Screwfix Sprint delivers from store to door in 60 minutes or less. So, whatever the job, you can do it with less hassle and more hustle. Less pausing and more pressing on. So don't break your stride. Screwfix Sprint. Order now exclusively on a Screwfix app. £5 delivery charge, no minimum spend. Don't stop. Sprint. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply. Selected products.
The Philly cheese stack is back at McDonald's. 2 beef patties, crispy and grilled onions, cheddar cheese, all topped with a melted cheddar cheese sauce. What could be better? How about playing the Monopoly game with a Philly cheese stack too? Yes, please. Until 15th of October from 11 a.m. Participating UK restaurants. Subject to availability. 18 plus. App may be required. See mcdrules.co.uk.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now. Like Everton versus Newcastle live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Game day is go. Stimulate your senses with a heavy-duty payload of thrilling Premier League football.
They're back in front.
Game day exclusive on Talk Sports.
Hello there, I'm Rashmin Chowdhury. This is Game Day exclusive. We are at Selhurst Park. We're at half-time. It is Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 1. Elsewhere in the 12:30 kickoffs in the Championship, that's over on TalkSport 2. It's Burnley 0, Preston 0. Elsewhere, Norwich City 2, Hull City 0, Portsmouth 0, Oxford 0 in League 1. The latest there is Huddersfield Town 0, Barnsley 0, Peterborough 1, Stevenage 0, and in League 2, Fleetwood 0, Bromley 0. Grimsby 0, but Doncaster 3, and in the WSL as well at half-time. Brighton are leading Aston Villa by 2-1. Okay, here at Selhurst Park, it's been a difficult first half for Crystal Palace. They had a couple of gilt-edged opportunities early and late in the game. The first one was a disallowed goal from Reece Nelson, and then the chance from Ismail Issar right at the death. But it is Liverpool that lead this one, and it's been fair to say it's been a difficult first half for Crystal Palace. So with that all in mind, let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport Premier League coverage.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a completely free ACCA or bet builder on football this weekend. Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds and T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
For a tasty and crispy break, this is my good choice. Loacker, pure goodness.
A bit since yesterday, the confidence in them maybe seemed to wane a little bit, perhaps due to that team news, but it's been pretty much complete control, hasn't it? Liverpool now is shot as 1-5 to finish the day top of the table and win this game, and it's really hard to bet against them, I think, here. I mean, other than that Sarr attempt in the final moment, Sam said it before the game, Arne Slot's side just assumed complete control now, don't they? A little bit less excited maybe, but much less jeopardy as well. So Palace now 16-1 to turn this around. That's a huge price for a side lacking in confidence, yet to win a game and really struggling to hurt Liverpool. The draw is 9-2. Quickly on the players, how about this, Reshman? Crystal Palace, they didn't commit a single foul in that first half. Not one. I mean, there's respect for who you're playing, but there's also line down a little bit. I mean, Liverpool, they've committed 11. That's got to improve if they're going to get anything out of this game, surely. You can back Palace to commit 8 fouls in the second half at 7-2. 9 or more is 6-1. Or if you think they can hit that 11 that Liverpool did in the first half, that's 22-1. And Salah, by the way, we need him to score for our charity bet, remember. He's only had one block shot so far. So look out for his shot on target price in the second half, because you might get a rare chance to get him close to even money for a single shot on target.
I feel like Mo Salah could get in the groove a bit later on, couldn't you? He's been in great form otherwise. OK, what about our charity bet then, all in all?
Yeah, well, it's not looking bad. I mean, we have got a cash out, but the cash out is below our stakes. We don't need to entertain that at the moment. But we need Liverpool to win, so that's looking good. We need both teams to score no. I mean, Palace do not look like they're going to score at all, so that's also looking good. We just need Salah to come out and score in the second half, and then Dean Henderson to make a couple more saves. I actually got the odds wrong before the game as well, because I'm not very good at maths apparently. So just to confirm that if we do win, it'll be £395 return, not £300. So let's hope
that's even
Salah scores in the second half.
Yeah, I hope that, and we won't hear the end of it from Sam, but obviously it's all going towards a good cause, so I'm very much okay with that. Brilliant, Alex Boyes, thank you very much indeed. That odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply, but do go to BeGambleAware.
Sent it across the goalkeeper, Alisson down to his right and fended it clear.
Brilliant from Palace, best bit of the whole half as we go towards
Minimum odds and T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Following us here at Selhurst Park, Adrian Durham will be taking you around the grounds in the Premier League and EFL with Game Day Live. Today, Adrian, you are stationed at the London Stadium for West Ham against Ipswich Town. first of all, is it sunny there?
It is sunny here, and I think this is a game, given the starts to the season, Ipswich might target for a first win of the season.
I was going to say that because they could hit West Ham when they're really, really down, couldn't they? Because I want to know, what is the atmosphere around sort of the London Stadium at the moment? I can't imagine that West Ham fans are anywhere even near amused at how the side have fared under Julian Lopetegui so far.
There's no sign of them playing any better football than they did under David Moyes. No win in 4. They've created lowest number of big chances in the Premier League. Lost all 3 at home, which is massive. I think when you've got a stadium of this size and loads of Hammers fans turn up, they need to see something here first and foremost, and there's nothing so far. So Jared Bowen's just been left out of the England squad as well, so it's all doom and gloom, and I think the fans are joining in with that, but understandably so. So if they don't win this today against the newly promoted side that's yet to win a game, I think the fans might turn a little bit, but Julian Lopetegui's got to pull something out of the bag. He's got to do something. You saw him recently, and they weren't extra special. They were probably just about as bad as Palace have been in that first half.
Yeah, they really what they looked like when we watched them was a side with no direction. It looked as though the manager hadn't really sort of managed to instill his ideas onto that team. So it's really interesting to see if, with a few more training sessions, he's been able to kind of get them playing in the way that he wants them to. But of course the players have to buy into that as well, and at the juncture that we saw them at, which was the huge defeat to Chelsea, it didn't look like there was any faith between the players and the manager.
No, and I saw him last week as well, and he put Antonio in this starting 11, which, you know, no offence to Antonio, the fans want to see Somerville in the starting 11. He was left out. Why sign the Championship Player of the Year if you can't get him into your 11? They were poor again. They got a 1-1 draw, maybe a bit fortunate. Brentford weren't great either. But listen, that's just one of many games. We're around the grounds. All the goals as they go in this afternoon from Premier League, EFL, National League. We do the Scottish Premiership, we do the Scottish Championship as well. Only place for the full-time classic.
At the moment, the starting 11 just kicking their legs up, warming up again. Quick one on Arsenal hosting Southampton. Surely, I mean, come on, like, Russell Martin has really got so many people talking. Personally, I think it's just coming across as arrogant now. That's my own personal opinion. But this is a huge challenge because questions will still be asked, and it's okay to say we want to play this way. But against Arsenal,
The bad news, the perfect workflow doesn't exist. The good news, you can make it yourself on Monday.com. Let me show you how I use Monday.com to create a tailor-made workflow. First, the most comfortable way for me to look at a board is as a table. What's most important to me is to see all of the team's projects.
Adam, how are you, bro? Spurs fan and fan of your channel. Well, firstly, thank you. Were you happy with Spurs beat United 3-0 and thoughts on Spurs this season? Was I happy when you beat United? Absolutely. Delighted, mate, that you beat them. Thoughts on the season so far?
I was just looking at it, actually. Statistically, it's been pretty even split who's done the most aerial duels and ground duels between Van Dijk and Konate is almost perfect so far. But maybe it's just because I'm so used to Van Dijk not having. Oh, there you go. Not having to do not having to do as much work, but he has definitely been a much more active defender. Last season, but also definitely on the slot.
That's Curtis Jones again.
Curtis Jones
hoping for the return.
Well, he should have been there, but he was blocked off. But the thing is, Szoboszlai had plenty of time to work out that he wasn't there. It was a blind pass. It was a bit silly, really. Ellis Day with the super chat says, formation seems a bit more like a traditional 4-3-3 rather than 4-2-3-1 we've had so far this season, but we've not really had any opportunity to press with 4 at the front like we've done a lot too. Yeah, and I think that's part of what Szoboszlai like.
Download now. Most famous game between these two, do you think?
Going back into the FA Cup semi-final? Yeah, FA Cup semi-final. 1919. 4-3. Pards. Pards, I was going to ask you who scored the goal. I played with Pards at Charlton. So what you're saying is he never stopped talking about it, is that it? won the FA Cup You may say that, Sam. I couldn't possibly comment.
Well, TalkSport's Alan Pardew is back on air tomorrow, 6:30 with Majestic. Majestic was probably still DJing on his Fisher-Price turntable in 1990 when that semi-final took place. I imagine the Palace boys were out in the Camden Palais or the Imperial Gardens afterwards. A little bit of disgruntlement amongst the Palace current level of support because it's just been a little bit of a lacklustre start, Scott Minto.
Yeah, it was the Blue Orchid or Joe Bananas.
Blue Orchid in Croydon.
In Croydon, yeah. I used to see them in there a few times.
Ball down the right side, looking for Sarr to try and run in behind, but doesn't reach him, and Allison was on his guard and came out very quickly and collected it. Gravenberg plays it square, picked up now by Jones. Jones just a couple of yards in from the left touchline, tries to turn it back outside to Tsimikas. Jota says calm down, keep hold of the ball, just don't let it go. And that Liverpool are quite sort of, I've said controlled so many times today, but they're methodical with the way that they're plotting their way through the game, Scott.
Last time I mentioned this, I once saw Gareth Southgate in the Blue Orchid as well. That was a long time ago. No, but I think it shows the contrast of styles of a Jurgen Klopp Liverpool and Arne Slot Liverpool. You know, this is absolutely controlled in the way that they want to. They can step it up and they can play that crossfield 50-yard ball if they want to. They've got two wide players who are continually getting in behind their back five of Crystal Palace. Other times it's like, no, we'll just take our time, we'll keep passing and we'll wait for that space to open.
Jota trying to sneak it through to Gakpo. Gay is alert to the danger. Walton squeezes between a gap between Jota and Szoboszlai and then releases Tyreek Mitchell over on the far side. He gets into the Liverpool half and then delivers a poor ball forward again. And a couple of times actually that Tyreek Mitchell has got the ball over on that far side and he got a little bit over-eager with his passing and not come up with the requisite final ball.
Yeah, do you know what? He's a player I like. And not just because I'm being in the left-back union. I think he's been arguably the most consistent player for Palace this season. But it's been 2 or 3 occasions now he's got into that final third. And we know that Palace aren't going to create too many chances against this very good Liverpool side. So when you do get into that final third, that quality ball needs to come in properly. And it's not from him, and he's better than that.
Here is Lacroix. Up to halfway. 1-0 to Liverpool, given away again. Trent Alexander-Arnold comes out of his slot to intervene and send it long, and then Guehi's header goes back towards Szoboszlai. Mitchell collided with Salah. Referee said play on, and a crossfield ball is sent out towards Sarr, but it's cut out by Tsimikas. Liverpool wrestle control again in the centre circle, turn it back by Konate to their goalkeeper, who's just standing on the edge of the 18-yard box. Gravenberch is allowed to turn and run through the middle of the Palace midfield and give it to Szoboszlai, and then it's back to Van Dijk. Szoboszlai, and he's just wandering forward, the Hungarian. Out to the left and Jones pokes it further on. 1-0 to Liverpool. Victory for Arne Slot on Wednesday night over Bologna saw him become the first Liverpool manager to win 8 of his first 9 games at the club, and only the great Bob Paisley has had a better start in the top flight at Liverpool than Arne Slot. And you have to flick back to Jose Mourinho's Chelsea in 2004-05 and Peter Taylor's Leicester City in 2001 to find a team that conceded fewer goals in their opening 6 games under a new Premier League manager.
Yeah, look, it's been a brilliant start, you have to say. Very impressive how Arne Slot has dealt with things, but it's just a start.
Gravenberch into Jota, edge of the penalty area, out to Szoboszlai, then on to Salah, to the other side. Trent Alexander-Arnold fired away by Henderson, who makes the save down low in front of the goal away to our left, and it was a necessary one, but that was very quick, sharp passing from Liverpool that almost at will there just prized open the Crystal Palace defence.
That was brilliant, and that's where I think Arne Slot is perhaps more pep than Klopp, really, because that slick 1-2 touch passing going from left to right, and Trent, you're expecting perhaps a little bit of a better ball to come in, or one that's not been able to be blocked, because if that had ended up going in the back of the net, that would have been one of the goals of the month for sure.
Yep, it was very well orchestrated by Liverpool, who lead by a goal to 0. Palace 5 points worse off at this stage of the season they were this time last, and points don't look like they're coming anytime soon. Here is Jones, back to Van Dijk, Tsimikas to Diogo Jota, into Tsimikas again, who's made an underlapping run. He clips the ball into the centre and Szoboszlai, and then it's back to Gravenberch. Actually, the ball was outside to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who had an ocean of space and was waiting for it, and has got his arm up in the air because he's suggesting, come on, you should have utilised me. Tsimikas goes and runs to the edge of the penalty area, works it wider to Gakpo in the left wing position for Liverpool. Back to Gravenberch, whose right-footed shot takes a deflection off Gay. He comes back out to this near side, and Tsimikas keeps it alive again. The pressure keeps coming from Liverpool, who lead by a goal to 0. Gakpo, centrally is Van Dijk. Looked up and then elevated the ball into the penalty area, looking for Salah, whose right-footed shot is fended away by Henderson, who's had to make another save and another stop, which almost certainly preserves what would have been a 2-goal cushion.
Well, again, that would have been one of the goals of the month, and what a wonderful pass from Virgil van Dijk. Just incredible, inch perfect, like he was a number 10, dinking it over the top, and Salah has got a score there.
And Oliver Gaznet trying to urge his team to go forward. There's a brief flurry as they get over the halfway line, then give the ball away again. Liverpool aren't the rampant counter-attacking team of old, so when they win the ball back inside their own territory, low inside their own territory, it takes them a bit of time to sort of slice their way through and get up the pitch.
Well, you use the word slice. It's a bit like death by a thousand cuts, isn't it?
It really is.
And they're almost just, it's almost sucking them in to think they can get something out of this with the scoreline that it is.
Well, while it's 1-0, there will be a degree of nervousness amongst maybe one or two in Liverpool Red in the fast stand opposite us. But I mean, the performance wouldn't lend itself to giving you that impression. I mean, it is complete and utter domination.
Listen, you know, there are 3 teams capable of winning the Premier League title this season. This is a Premier League title winning performance, but they've got to make sure it turns into a Premier League title winning scoreline.
Because he's going to change the team now, Glasnow. He's going to bring on 2, maybe 3 changes. Mateta's going to come off the bench, gives them something different to think about. They are going to vary up their play now, Crystal Palace. And whilst it's 1-0, if they were to drag themselves back into the game, the atmosphere would change here immediately they scored. You never know.
You never know. And it's not even about losing this game for Liverpool. It's about they must win. You know, it talked about how it's been a brilliant start to the season, but are Arsenal or Manchester City really going to drop points at home to Forest? Lose especially? I don't see it. There's only a certain amount of points they can drop. They need to win this game now, and it still is in the balance with the scoreline as it is.
Klein on the right, back in field it goes, collected by Wharton, who slides it forward into the path of Nketiah, goes further wide onto Eze. He can't really get it under his control properly, and then by the time he gets hold of it properly, Liverpool back in shape and causing problems. Oh, they almost gave it away again there. Nketiah getting it back to Chalobah. Chalobah playing it wide. Tyreek Mitchell takes over, gets down the left side of the box. He's giving the ball away again, and Alexander-Arnold has fired it clear. Chalobah's wrestled Jota to the floor. Free kick, Liverpool, 15 yards short of the halfway line. And here's the change. Jean-Philippe Mateta, who has been such a regular goal scorer for Oliver Glasner since he took over the job at Selhurst Park, comes on to replace Tyreek Mitchell, which I think will mean that they might go to a slightly different formation, or Klein will go out to left back here, and maybe Sarr will come and play right wing back.
Yeah, I would imagine, and he's done it a few times actually already. When they're chasing a game, he goes to a back 4. I feel for Tyreek Mitchell, but I do think it's the right decision. It's one of these games where it's just not happening for him. He's actually, ironically enough, it's not as if he's been completely roasted by Mo Salah down that right-hand side, but it's actually when he's been on the ball where he's looked lacking in confidence. So to bring on Mateta, and then also Will Hughes as well, this was very much needed from Palace.
Wharton coming off, and Will Hughes coming on as well, so a change in midfield for Crystal Palace, who trail here by a goal to nil. Interestingly, you were right to say that Mitchell actually defensively had done quite well against Mo Salah, and you just wonder now whether Nathaniel Klein can keep up with him.
I think he'll be a little bit more savvy defensively. I think there were times where Mitchell was either getting too tight or not dropping off enough.
Gravenberg into Szoboszlai, through the centre circle he goes. He's got Trent Alexander-Arnold over on the right-hand side. He's got space to run into, moves into the penalty area, comes on the inside, tries to take on Hughes. Hughes holds him off, uses his body a bit too much. Free kick given against Trent Alexander-Arnold as he enters the penalty area. So we'll go off to the Etihad Stadium, and team news from a 3 o'clock kickoff involving Manchester City. John Dunn.
And Phil Foden makes his first Premier League start of the season after impressing midweek in the Champions League. He replaces Kyle Walker. It's the only change to the last Premier League lineup, the 1-1 draw at Newcastle. One change also for Fulham. It's another first Premier League start of the season. It's Sander Berg coming in for Emile Smith-Rowe. That's the only change from the 1-0 win at Forest.
Off to the London Stadium, TalkSport's Dave Rowe.
West Ham against Ipswich. West Ham unchanged from the team that drew at Brentford last week. Kudus starts after being taken off at half-time in that game. 2 changes for Ipswich, who drew with Aston Villa last weekend. Former West Ham player Ben Johnson starts, as does Wes Burns. They replace Tuanzebe and Ogbene.
Interestingly, that Mohamed Kudus is starting the game today after his falling out with Julian Lopetegui, as Reshmin tries to teach me to say.
We had this conversation on the All Access podcast, didn't we?
You do it because you're the
Lopetegui.
Here is Alexander-Arnold to take the free kick for Liverpool. It's about 10 yards short of the penalty area. It's right of centre. Is it striking distance? Well, it's Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yes. Absolutely, you've answered your own question.
Three-man wall, of which Mrplater is a member, and it's at about a 50-degree angle. He steps up right-footed, floats it towards the far post, header in! Towards goal by Jota, and he's missed the target. He's glanced at, coming round through a clutch of Crystal Palace shirts to dive and throw himself full-blooded at the ball, and as it curled away from the Palace defence, it timed his run well, and he just didn't get enough on it and missed the side of the goal. He'll be disappointed. He missed a header against Ipswich on the opening day of the season, which he should have scored. I think he should have scored that one too, Scott.
Well, he should be on a hat-trick now. Remember that chance he missed around about the penalty spot, where he didn't get good connection on it.
Pompey lead Oxford by a goal to 0. Are they going to get their first win of the season in the Championship? What about Arsenal and Southampton? Many changes? TalkSport 2's commentator is Ian Danter.
3 changes for Arsenal for the win against Paris Saint-Germain. Sterling, Jesus and Jorginho in. Trossard, Timber and Martinelli out. It looks like Thomas Partey might be playing right back. For Southampton, after the horror show you saw at the Vitality on Monday, Sam, 4 changes from Russell Martin. Taylor, Ogachukwu, Cornet and Fraser out. The latter 2 not in the squad at all. Walker-Peters, Manning, Aribo and Stewart are recalled. Arsenal, Southampton on TalkSport 2 at 3.
Ross Stewart gives them a much bigger presence at the top end of the pitch, Southampton, and they take on a Arsenal team in good form at this moment in time. They'll need that physical presence, I think, today against a big Arsenal team. It's live on TalkSport 2 with Ian Danter and Perry Groves. And Ian Danter is actually going to be with us tomorrow on the Sunday session as well. Looking forward to that. Here is Gravenberg, dispossessed by Will Hughes, turned over. Mrplater, edge of the area, feeds the ball to Nketiah, spilt by the goalkeeper and then out towards this near side. Best chance they've had in a while, Crystal Palace. Well worked. They used Mrplater as a platform, and it was pinched by Will Hughes in midfield. He got it up to the big striker, and Nketiah coming in from that sort of withdrawn position, struck the ball goalwards. It went straight down the throat of Alisson.
Now look, that was brilliant pressing from Crystal Palace. You know, must have made about 7 or 8 passes, Liverpool, but Palace didn't allow them out and they didn't give up, and it looked like when Gravenberch turned they were able to beat that press, but no, they still nicked the ball, passed the ball, forward pass straight away, which meant that Nketiah, he's got to score there. Again, you're not going to get too many chances.
Well, it's only 1-0 to Liverpool, and all the while it retains just a small, narrow margin separating these two teams. There is that little ray of sunshine that is creeping into the hearts of the Crystal Palace followers, who believe that they might just nick something from the game which they barely deserve to still be in.
Do you know what? He's stretching for it, so, I mean, at least he's hit the target, but 2 yards to the side of Alisson, he's not saving it. He's not. And what it does, Sam, is that it lifts the whole crowd.
Yeah.
Not even by not scoring, just by creating that chance. But again, that was Palace, about 4, 5, 6 players saying, no, we're going to follow. And they all pressed at the same time. The first time they've done it in unison in the game.
Here is Eze trying to play a Hollywood ball forward towards Nketiah. Doesn't quite work out on this occasion. It's picked up by Alisson and turned over. I think that Jurgen Klopp is just going to Arne Slot is just going to readjust the way that midfield is configured for Liverpool. Just watching him maybe just trying to organise a little bit more from Szoboszlai further up the pitch. Peterborough 1, Stevenage 1 is the latest scoreline from London Road. They haven't won in 3 games in League One, Peterborough. Adrian Durham will be pulling out his hair. They keep throwing away these positions. Here's Gakpo onto Szoboszlai. He strikes it right-footed. It's saved by Dean Henderson. The good news is that Liverpool winning to 0, and we've had at least 3 saves from Dean Henderson, so we should be on for the charity bet. If Salah can convert one, that would be great. Make some money for the charity.
Well, look, we're impartial here, aren't we? But come on, man.
Well, the Palace fans won't want that. And they've still got a chance in this game. Sarr's taken it out of the sky, down the right side, trying to get into the penalty area. He tries to, well, he just held on to it a little bit too long there, and then went and twirled away down the right side of the box, went across, blocked by Jones, goes out for a throw-in down by the corner flag. Alan Pardew, the scorer of that iconic goal in the 4-3 win in the semi-final between these two in 1990, is here today. He is sitting in the director's box. We're off to the King Power in just a second, where we've got team news in just a few moments. But here is Will Hughes trying to get out of a tight spot down by the corner flag.
Yes, everyone, welcome to the All or Nothing podcast. with myself, Billy Moore. Thanks to everyone who likes, shares and subscribes to this channel. Check out the content I'm bringing you today. Heavy.
Yes, mate.
Yes.
Where the money is going, you know. People get slaughtered for having tourists, but it wasn't for the tourists. What's happening with the city, Alexander? It's still ongoing. It's the start.
You are an amazing woman. That's nice.
Right, look after yourself, okay? I'll go and finish the rest of them now.
Mine's on the woman,
Don't
give no more. Don't give no more, man.
Hey? I've got all down this side, and then I've got all back up this side.
How are you getting on there, dude?
Hi.
No. You're talking about me, aren't you? Yeah, you're talking about me, aren't you? What's it
nothing to do with me.
So why are you
talking to you. I was talking to him. I was talking to him.
Yeah, but you were talking about him.
Why are you making your business? Why are you touching me?
Why are you touching me?
Why are you touching me? Why are you touching me? I'm talking to you.
Talking about me?
Talking to him.
About him?
Take the piss out of him.
About me? You're taking the piss out of him.
And that's fine, isn't it?
Okay, so don't make a fucking big statement.
Say, what are you doing? I said, don't let him take the piss out of that.
Yeah, me?
Yeah.
Right, what he's saying is, if you've got a problem with him, speak to him.
I've got a problem with him.
You did.
If that's his mate and he's stood over him laughing while it's happening, you've got a problem with him. I don't give a fuck about you. Could not give a fuck about you one bit. There's nowhere around here that you can go and do anything. We're in the middle of fucking town. Why would you want to do anything? Why, you got a camera on? Well, yeah. So you're now putting a glass on with a camera in. What are you trying to achieve?
You're sweating like a glass blower's arse. You're sweating like a glass blower's arse, lad, right? Fuck off. Fuck off, just fuck off. You just fuck off, lad. Seriously. Walk away. Right. I'm warning you now, walk away. Walk the fuck away. Start staring me. I'm not staring me.
You're allowed to film in public.
Walk away. Yeah. Walk away.
Do you know what I mean?
Walk away.
You walk away.
He's just walked away, now you're fucking standing there.
No, you've come back. It's about him.
Is he dead?
That's what his mate's at. Is he your mate? I want you to get him up and treat him like a mate. He's asleep. Because he's a fucking sleep.
Just told you, it's easier to sleep during the day than it is at night.
Really? Oh no, stop!
Nice.
Come on!
Jibby.
Come on!
Jibby.
Be a bigger person, though. Yeah.
Walk away from him.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
You're just going to get yourself in shit.
I love you.
Well, he's awake.
At Vistaprint, we print signs so people can see your brand up close. But we also print signs so that people can see your business here, see it here, and see it here. So you stand out, even when they're way back here. Print it all with 15% off for new customers at vistaprint.co.uk.
Does your gimbal ever do that, lad? Just start fucking going skew-whiff all over the gas?
Twice.
What?
Press it twice.
What do you mean, press it?
Virgil van Dijk pulled at Guehi's arm.
Well, should Crystal Palace have had a penalty? I'm sure that Oliver Glasner will think they should have done, and so will the Palace fans inside this stadium, and that sense of injustice might just spark them into life as we go into the final 17 minutes of the game. A game which has been completely one-sided for the majority of it, but all of a sudden things have changed, and there's a foul here on Curtis Jones, which is going to generate a yellow card, and a bit of a telling off for Will Hughes. But certainly the atmosphere's changed, and there's, you know, the momentum has gone out of Liverpool's sails, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And Palace have kind of felt that, haven't they? They've sensed it. And just one attack, that's all it was needed to get this crowd back on track. They're desperate to get behind their players, but they've seen their team completely outplayed. But it's been 2, 3, 4 chances now, and that one there, that's a big call from VAR. I get the referee's call, and in the bigger picture, I'm 100% behind it. Less is more for VAR, but that's a big moment in this game.
Well, certainly Gay and Virgil van Dijk got very well acquainted with one another during that ball into the box, which then Alisson got away. Eze felt he was fouled. Referee's playing on because Lacroix's got the ball, so the Palace fans are annoyed about it, but they has played the advantage. And Nketiah chasing with Tsimikas. Tsimikas is wrestling with him. That's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card as well, I would have thought. Ismail Assar asked for a yellow card, so he gets one. And Tsimikas, well, I'm not sure he is going to get one.
He's just got to be careful here, Simon Hooper, he doesn't lose control of the situation. To be fair, Sarr shouldn't be doing it. They're the rules, yellow card. And actually, I think it was a foul. I'm not sure it was a yellow card, but if it had given it, you wouldn't have argued against it as such. But this is all in the positivity for Crystal Palace. They've changed this game around, the momentum of it completely.
The momentum is all with Crystal Palace now. The noise is with Crystal Palace, and we've got 15 and a half to go on TalkSport. Can they get back into the game? 1-0 Liverpool. Eze with a free kick from the right side into the box, headed clear by Van Dijk, hit straight away by Klein. Again, it was the wrong choice really, because what he needed to do was get it under control, keep Palace on the front foot and putting pressure on the back line.
Sam, Roberto Carlos wouldn't have gone for that.
Ball cleared by Alexander-Arnold, upfield. Sarr heads it away, well, sort of. He's not the best header of a ball, and that was apparent there. He then goes down under pressure from Gakpo. Referee says play on. Gakpo's already been booked, picks it up, then runs forward, goes down. It's a second yellow card for Will Hughes, or is it going to be a yellow card for Gakpo?
That's going to be for Nketiah.
Oh, I tell you what. There was a moment there where I thought both Hughes and Gakpo could have been in danger. Nketiah is the one who ends up being booked, but Will Hughes is walking a tightrope, and so is Gakpo. Gakpo got up and started mouthing, and I thought, oh, there could be some trouble here.
No, look, first of all, it's a foul on Sarr that wasn't given. And then they've all got back up, but Nketiah's pulled at Gakpo as he's gone past him, and that's what it's for. He's nutmegged Will Hughes, who's kind of fouled him as well, but that was a foul, nothing more than that. But listen, it's hotting up, but this only favours Crystal Palace. They've got to be careful, keep 11 players on the pitch. This atmosphere is suiting them, not Liverpool.
Alisson has slipped and he's injured himself, and he's got a big problem here, and they've sent it back to him. He can't use his right leg, he's pulled his hamstring, and he's got to clear it away into the stands. And Liverpool have got a big issue here. No Queven Kelleher available today, and Vitislav Jaros is going to have to come on and play the last few minutes, I think, for Liverpool.
100%. And you could see, as soon as he kicked that away, Alisson sat down, his hand going straight to the ground. It is again, beating it. He knows that's not just coming off today, that's a pulled hamstring.
Oh, that's a problem. He was, actually the play was continuing and he was on the floor, face down in his own penalty area, smashing the ground, and then Palace got the ball and he had to try and get back up. He was hobbling back like he was doing the sack race into the penalty area before eventually then someone decided to pass him back the ball.
That was the last thing he wanted. He did well just to get rid of it, but then straight down, the ball's out of play. He's coming off, and I'm worried for Liverpool. He could be off for a good few weeks.
Well, he's going to be replaced by, as I mentioned, Vladislav Jaros, who is a Czech international goalkeeper. He's had one Czech appearance. He was actually on Liverpool's books last season, but he was away on loan at Sturm Graz, and he is yet to feature. And what a time to come into Liverpool's ranks. Interestingly, you might remember we were here last year when Rami Matthews had to come off the bench and go in goal for the last few minutes for Crystal Palace, and Harvey Elliott got a late goal.
Yes, I do remember that. It's quite exciting down here at Selhurst Park between these two, isn't it?
Oh, he's hobbling off here, Alisson Becker. He should go off behind the goal away to our right, by the way. They're not going to restart play until the goalkeeper is ready. But he's coming off on this near side, just trying to take the sting out of the atmosphere.
Well, and also, I think they're trying to give Jaros a bit of time to warm himself up.
Yeah. Well, this is a big moment for Jaros. And on comes the big Czech goalkeeper.
Learn how to play my songs with the Billy Collection on Musician. You're gonna crush it. Get Musician and let's play.
Wix gives you the freedom to tell your story with a professional website that reflects who you are and what you have to offer. Customize every element of your website to meet your needs and achieve your goals. Create a unique visual experience that enhances your product and amplifies your message. Expand your website with content that pushes your business forward. Share content that matters to your audience. And present it the way you envision it, from the biggest ideas to the smallest details. Your website, your voice, your platform.
Where right now you can get Crystal Palace to come back and win the game at 30-1. The draw 6-1 on for Liverpool. The win, Liverpool 6-1 on. The draw 9-2 at this moment in time. It's all thanks to Betfair, who are paying out on winning bets at the 90-minute mark with 90-minute guarantee. Terms and conditions apply at teamclassbgambleaware.org. Ball sent forward from Mrplater, who's onside. He's got beyond Konate, who's got back at him brilliantly. And Konate just about pinched the ball from Mrplater. But Mrpleta's won it back far side. Little back heel onto Klein. Chance to cross into the box. It's in towards the near post. Flapped away by Jaros. Comes out to Hughes. Hughes into the area. Still alive for Crystal Palace. And Nketiah goes down. Eze picks it up edge of the area. Back to Lerma. Right-footed strike over the top of the crossbar. Well, this should have been a cruise. And it's something that Liverpool actually have been guilty of in recent matches. We mentioned it right at the beginning of the game. You know, switching off, losing control, not finishing the job. Virgil van Dijk spoke out about it in the build-up to this game. And now they're in a situation where they could end up throwing stuff away here unless they get switched on.
Sammy, you read my mind. Don't do that too often, by the way. But honestly, this should be 3 or 4-0. And Palace, fair play to them for coming back into it, but it should be consolation goal they're going for it, nothing more. And if they do drop more points like they did against Nottingham Forest, that's not what a title winning side does. Still very early in the season, of course, and there will be drop points, but there won't be many as we've seen from Manchester City and now Arsenal.
Gravenberch edges Eze off the ball, sends it square. Alexander-Arnold, Szoboszlai. Liverpool need to find a killer here. Back to Alexander-Arnold again. Out further wide, and Luis Diaz, who tries to exchange passes with Alexander-Arnold, but it's cut out by Lerma and then sent away to halfway, where it's picked up by Eze, and it's a poor ball by Hughes out to the far side as a throw into Liverpool in front of their supporters, who need to get behind their team now as they go into the final stages of this game. 82 minutes on the clock. Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 1. Hughes has made a difference in midfield. Mrplater certainly has made a huge difference as a focal point to the attack.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting that I'm not sure we quite touched on the fact that he has still kept the back five, and it's Sarr who's being the right wing back.
Right wing back, yeah.
Who's doing a great job up and down the right. But you're right, the substitution's made a really big impact.
Ball thrown in towards Luis Diaz, who's trying to get round and send the ball into the box. He does that, but it goes right through the area, and reaching to try and get hold of it is Gakpo, who turns it back into the centre again. A little backheel into the path of Robertson, who tries to nudge Nketiah off the ball, gives away a free kick, and it goes out for a Palace ball away to our left-hand side. Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 1 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps 120,000 people every day. Virgil van Dijk holding hands with Mark Gahey will be the image you see on the back page of your paper tomorrow morning if this result stays as it is, Scott Minto.
Listen, he was not going to get anywhere near the ball, but that's a penalty. He's pulled him back with two hands. You cannot do that.
I mean, it doesn't matter how fleeting it was. That was the word that was used a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it, when Somerville was
I was listening to you at the time.
Pulled back. I'm sorry, that is denying him the opportunity to try and play the ball. Gay was right. I wonder whether or not the VAR there will look back at that. Here's Diaz down the right side, trying to get into the box, sends it back in towards Jota, and is dispossessed by Will Hughes, and then Hughes sends it forward, and the ball has been spilt behind the Liverpool defence. Mrplater is away here. He feeds it to Eze inside the area, and he can't open up his body, and it's straight down the throat of the substitute goalkeeper, Jaros, who clings to it for dear life. But that was an opportunity for Crystal Palace that they just didn't take. What an opportunity for Eze. The ball just spilt in behind the Liverpool line. They were committed too far upfield. All of a sudden, Mrplater was the wrong side of them, and he had help. Eze was one of those. He passed him a perfect ball, but he couldn't find the perfect finish.
Well, listen, that's arguably their best chance of the game, and they've had 3 or 4 in the last 10-15 minutes. Great play from Mrplater. Just held the ball up at the right time. For some reason, Liverpool had 4 or 5 players running back, but actually it was only Virgil van Dijk who was in the right position. He's laid it to Eze. He's on his right foot, on the inside left, 20 yards out, maybe just inside the box actually by the time he actually took the shot. He has got to do better than that.
Why didn't Crystal Palace start like this? They've caused Liverpool problems, and Liverpool at this moment in time going to emerge with 3 points. Their only blip came unexpectedly against Nottingham Forest, and you know, it's been pretty smooth for a club changing such an iconic, dominant manager. Not many clubs have this sort of transition, but there have been wobbles in games, and certainly there's been more than just 1 or 2 wobbles in this one. Here's Diaz though, picking the ball up for Liverpool, running in from the right side into the centre as he looks to try and drag them up the field. Picked up by Gakpo, whose right-footed shot towards the far corner is now only narrowly over the top.
That's unlucky. That's really good play. And it came from Luis Diaz just turning inside and then playing the ball to Gakpo. And you're probably thinking he should be hitting the target.
Let me take you back to that penalty decision again. Why has the VAR not got involved in that? Because David Coote has seen it. Clearly, Simon Hooper must have said to him, I've seen the holding, I don't think it impacts.
Right, so I think now that VAR... So although I think that's the wrong decision, I think the bigger picture here is I don't mind it. Because I've been for VAR, but I've wanted them just to come and have the lightest touch, and they've been getting too involved. They've been trying to get it precise. It's not about getting precise, it's about getting rid of the clear and obvious errors.
Is that not clear and obvious?
Well, to me, yes, but I think now they're in a mindset of, almost a little bit too far of we don't want to get involved. It's got to be absolutely clear and absolutely obvious, and I don't know whether they can argue that he wasn't going to get anywhere near the ball, but there's no doubt about it, he's pulled him back.
Here's Klein on the far side. I'm sure that'll be something that's taken up with the boys on the phone in later on. 5:30. Jamie and Jason back together again. 03717 22 33 44. That's the number to call. Adrian Durham on the way very shortly. 2:30 with all the goals they're going from around the grounds. There's been a lot of goals going in around Carrow Road. Norwich 4-0 up against Hull City now. Here is Chalobah over the halfway line. We're into the 87th minute. How much time are we going to have added on? Kamada's about to come on. Nketiah nudges it out to Sarr. Sarr's cross into the centre, aimed towards Eze. Flicked away by Konate, drops on the edge of the box. Hughes harassing Szoboszlai, who's backing in, gets it back to Robertson, and then he takes it wide towards the near side and then sends a long searching ball, hoping to find Jota, who's so good in the air for such a small, diminutive frame. And Diaz can't follow it up, and Crystal Palace are able to clear through Henderson.
But you know what, we talk about the bigger picture of VAR, and even though I think that's the wrong decision, I like the philosophy that Howard Webb is trying to say now to all his officials of, you know, try not to get too involved unless it's obvious, but we can argue about that one. In terms of Liverpool, I mean, the stats will say 2 goals conceded if they keep it like this. Well, boy, they've conceded some chances, and if they do concede a goal here, again, we're still very early on in the season, but if we could talk about Liverpool being genuine title contenders against Manchester City, against Arsenal, who now definitely are, they have to come away with all 3 points here. And actually, I'm not going to say they've been fortunate too, because they've been the better side, but Palace should be arguing, the fans going home could easily be arguing, we should have put at least one of those good chances away.
Good chances, and they've had a penalty shout as well, which should have gone their way. Wataru Endo is on to take the place of Curtis Jones at the heart of the midfield. And off comes Chalobah and on comes Kamada for the final few minutes of this game. We've got 90 seconds to play. Liverpool playing it out with a rookie goalkeeper who's never played for the club before because of the illness to Kelleher, didn't make the squad today, and the injury, the hamstring injury, which looks quite damaging to Alisson, which has robbed them of his services. So instead, we've got the young Czech goalkeeper, 23 years of age, Vladislav Jaros. Here is Endo under the ball, heading it forward, up towards Szoboszlai. It runs through to Henderson. Is it going to be one last chance for Crystal Palace? Arne Slot, who is looking to become just the 4th manager in Premier League history to win each of his first 4 away games in the competition after Luis Felipe Scolari, John Gregory and Bobby Gould. Has had a tougher time of it than maybe he thought he was going to have after half an hour. Here is Diaz into the box, slaloms one way, then tries to get his shot away, blocked by Gay and cleared. Endo wins it back though on the edge of the area. Gakpo trying to force it forward. Jota onto Szoboszlai, back to Gakpo. Gakpo on the edge of the D, needing a pass. He finds Alexander-Arnold backwards, and that was good ball retention from Liverpool in a tight spot, keeping it away from their goal and high up the field.
Absolutely, and Diaz has come on and made a difference, hasn't he? He's looked very, very sharp, but you're spot on, they're on the edge of the box. They're not chasing the game, they don't need that second goal right now, although they really could do with it. But in the end, they've just come back, kept more of the ball. 30, 40 seconds more have passed, and now we're coming into 90 minutes plus.
Szoboszlai. Oh, they've got to negotiate.
Will not be stopped without your help. Stop the snoss, act now, ban Sneak.
To make that 2-0.
Corner kick over on the far side. Alexander-Arnold is taking his time over this. 91 minutes on the clock now, the first of 6 added. Liverpool have won all 3 of their Premier League away games this season. Only in 1990-91 and 2019-20 have they ever won 4 Premier League games in a row away from home at the start of the campaign. But they are about to complete that set, unless Palace can come up with something significant in the final few seconds of this match. It goes out for a goal kick away to our left after The corner didn't really come to anything for Liverpool, and Henderson will kick this long and high up into Liverpool territory. Van Dijk, well, he misjudged it, and then there was a little bit of confusion on the edge of the box, and Robertson had to come to his rescue. Well, I don't know what happened there, but he completely misjudged the flight of the ball, went to head it, and then thought, oh, I'm not sure I'm going to get there, and it bounced behind him.
Yeah, I mean, he's been superb, I have to say, and yet that could have been the biggest mistake of the game for them. He's let it bounce, he's tried to head it back, but he's not got anything on it. And then he's panicked. But to be fair, Liverpool himself and Robertson just made sure they got there first and put it back to Yaros.
Seconds ticking away, 4 minutes to go on Talk Sport. And the ball put out of play over on the far side. Liverpool now trying to wind down the clock here because they know that they've been in a game for the last 20 minutes of this match. For 70 minutes, right, this was so one-sided, it was unreal.
Going back to your positive bit in the first half, it's still only 1-0.
It's still only 1-0. All the while it's 1-0, there's always a chance.
Always.
There's always a glimmer of hope, however small that glimmer is. Here is Hughes, sending it up towards Mrplater, trying to hold on to it. It was wrestled to the floor by Konate. He was over-aggressive. He's given the free kick away, and then Palace want to get on with it quickly. And Kamada sends it down the left, and Mrpleta's going into the box. Yaros has to come out, and he meets it at the feet of Mrplater. Two hands, strong challenge. He had to be alert, and the goalkeeper was.
Tell you what, he did do well there, didn't he? Mrplater was in if the weight of the pass had been better.
Gakpo cutting in from the left-hand side, getting to the edge of the box. It's opened up for Szoboszlai, who cuts in past Kamada into the area, still wandering, then runs into traffic. Endo picks it up. He's not going to shoot. He sends it square instead to Gravenberch, who goes back to halfway and sensibly keeps hold of possession for Liverpool, who lead by a narrow margin, 1-0. Here's Szoboszlai trying to shoot from distance. A right-footed shot which whistles past the post, and it goes out for a goal kick, and we have 2.5 minutes still to play.
Now, I was just about to say, Liverpool doing really well. They're choosing that okay, now it's not about getting a second goal, it's about keeping the ball and game management. And then what does Szoboszlai do? He goes and has a shot from 25 yards and gives the ball back to Palace.
Ball cleared upfield over the halfway line, headed by Robertson. Now one back by Jota, and then Szoboszlai. Jota allows it to drop and then wants to draw a foul here. He's going to get one as well because Lacroix and Hughes are wrestling to the ground.
That's ridiculous defending from Lacroix.
Was he doing that?
You're literally seconds away from full time. You've just been on top. You're playing against a side that have outplayed you, but you're still in the game. Don't give away a foul there.
Silly defending from Maxence Lacroix. Controversial penalty decision has gone against Crystal Palace. They can't believe that VAR didn't award them a spot kick. Mark Gay can't believe it either. Liverpool, who was so dominant in the first half, have had chances to extend their lead but didn't take them, and now just trying to get over the line against this Crystal Palace team that are still searching for their first win. I mean, the positives for Crystal Palace is that obviously they were well beaten in the first 60-70 minutes of this game, but they've come back to compete with Liverpool. What they've got to do is try and find a performance over 90 minutes that gets them a result on the board, and they've got big fixtures to come over the next few weeks. You know, after the international break, they've got Nottingham Forest away, Tottenham at home, Aston Villa away, Wolves away, Fulham at home. You know, there's some opportunities there to pick up some points. That Villa game, I think, is in the cup.
No, absolutely, and I think it's important just to say, I mean, because you asked me earlier about, you know, do you still feel confident Palace won't be relegated? They play like this week in, week out, they will not get relegated. They will play against sides that are not as strong. They will put more chances away.
But play like this for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you have to play a little bit more. Again, they are against one of the top sides in Europe, not just in this country. But if they can bottle that and play with that kind of passion, then they'll be fine.
Oh, Gakpo has gone past Sarah and Hughes too easily, gets to the byline. Lerma comes across and the ball spins behind and out for a corner on this near touchline, and that should be enough to take Liverpool over the threshold of 3 points and give themselves an opportunity to get in front and make their 3 points count. They take the corner short. Robertson back to halfway. Van Dijk sends it all the way to the far side. And Liverpool fans are singing over on the far touchline as we approach the final few seconds of the game. Szoboszlai picks the ball up inside the penalty area. Oh, he sends it square to no one in particular, and Jota is furious about that, and they've given the ball away, and there might be one last attack here. It's launched forward, but Konate steps in front of Eze, and there is the full-time whistle. And it's not Crystal Palace singing the Dave Clark 5 anthem anymore. It's Liverpool who are glad it is all over, because they've had to work really hard in the last 20 minutes of this game to get over the line against a Crystal Palace team who gave not enough in the first hour and a bit, but in the latter part of the game really gave Liverpool a problem. There will be discussions, there will be a debate about whether or not Liverpool should have conceded a penalty late on in the game when Virgil van Dijk tugged the arm of Guehi from a long throw from the right-hand side. There was all sorts of issues that Liverpool had to jump over, including the substitution of their goalkeeper Alisson after a hamstring injury, and a debut for the 23-year-old Czech goalkeeper Vladislav Jaros. But in the end, they did enough and Crystal Palace did not, and it's all 3 points for Arne Slot, who's picked up 18 now from 7 games, and as a result becomes the best Liverpool manager in terms of a start to the season in the club's history. Not Kenny, not Bob, not Rafa, not Houllier, not Jurgen, Arne Slot. It's finished. Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 1.
Sam Matterface, thank you very much indeed. Wow. Who expected an end to a game like that? That goal, the only goal of the game from Diogo Jota, was on 9 minutes. That feels like a very, very long time ago. So many attempts for this Liverpool side from that point onwards, but none of them counted. 16 shots to 9. And those 9 Palace shots came much, much later in that game. What a final sort of 20 minutes or so. Right now you can see all the players still out on the pitch. Arne Slot and his Liverpool players are heading over to the far side to the away supporters, clapping and thanking them for their support. Crystal Palace heads held high after that, despite no win in 7 now. That was quite a fierce performance in the end for Palace. Let's talk about them first, because Liverpool had them exactly where they wanted them for the majority of that game.
They certainly did, Resh. And you know what? Full credit
Good ball. On the dance floor. Solid putt. That's in the garden spot. That's a huge drive. Solid putt. Good ball. That's in the garden spot. Good ball. Great rally. That's in the garden spot. That's a huge drive. On the dance floor. Good ball. Solid putt.